I made this towel wet and then I wrung it out. Is it wrung it out? Wrung it out? Hey guys, on today's episode, you can see I'm in the back of a 2023 Mercedes Maybach. Unbelievable, but we need to get this thing prepared for its press tour around the country, and we need to do that in winter. So we're gonna be going over the step-by-step process for preparing a car, especially this one that has matte paint, for winter. Plus, I'm gonna be taking it to a hockey game with my buddies. That and a whole lot more in this episode of Drive and Protect. Big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this episode. More on this later. Okay, now that we got the Maybach back in the studio, she's pretty dirty, and that's understandable because we've been driving around in the snow. Now, when it comes to snow cleaning or winter washing, there's 5 things you need to really think about to preserve the integrity of your car during those winter months. Now, on that note, most people think, hey, it's winter, it's gonna get dirty, I don't need to wash it because it's only gonna get dirty next week. That's actually the opposite of what you should be thinking about when you want to preserve your vehicle. Usually in the summertime, it's very clean outside and you wash and you wax and you do it multiple times, which is great, it's therapeutic, it's awesome, but the car doesn't necessarily need it. It needs it now. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. What are the quick things you can do to preserve your car, have some fun, but at the end of the day, protect it so that when you get to summertime, it's still in good shape. Step 1 for your winter maintenance is to pre-soak the paint, the wheels, wheel wells, and door jambs in Boost anti-salt and foam within the foam cannon, and let the formula break down the road salts before the agitation phase. This is best practice for any car in winter or living by the ocean, and especially matte finish paints in any season because you have zero margin of error. If you don't have access to a power washer or a hose, we also make a waterless version called frothy anti-salt that you can use with an aerator. The main difference is you'll use more towels because you don't have a hose or a pressure washer to wash away the lifted dirt. It's incredibly easy, it's lubricated, and it's very popular for drivers in apartments or have their hoses shut off for the winter. Focus on soaking the wheel wells, suspension, and undercarriage as much as possible. Again, we're trying to keep this to about an hour and 20 minutes or so without taking the wheels off or using a lift. As you guys know, in winter, it's way better to have small, consistent cleans versus that once a year full restoration. It's sort of like your body. It's healthier to go to the gym on a regular, consistent basis than the once a year 10-hour power session trying to be like Mr. Universe or whatever. Same concept here on cars. All right, guys, this is why we pre-soap the paint. You can see it's actually carrying the dirt away. Now, it's very important for a normal car, meaning with clear coat, but it's especially important on a car that's matte finish paint. Now, if it's very dirty and I were to go in here and start to wipe it and create scratches, taking scratches out of matte paint is virtually impossible because you have to repaint it. You can't go in and polish it because you'll make that area flat, thus being shiny and not matte. So it's a little bit of a catch-22 here. So pre-soaking it, very critical. Now we're gonna rinse it down, and then after the rinse, we're gonna go in with a gentle towel and just agitate a little bit to kind of clean out those pores of the matte finish paint, and it's gonna look absolutely fantastic, and then we'll go in and protect it when we're done. Next, rinse the loosened dirt away with a healthy power wash. It's much easier to remove after soaking the paint, especially if you have Reflex Pro 2 coating on the paint beforehand as well. It's going to create a surface that just doesn't want anything to stick to it. It's really cool. Next, with the paint now wet, I filled my wash bucket with 2 blue wash towels, Ammo foam, and Boost anti-salt, and added some warm water. Now at this point, because I had just a little bit of soap mixture left in my reservoir, I just very quickly laid a thin layer of foam on the paint, then started the towel agitation. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful platform on which to create your very own website. You can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content, and manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights, all in one easy-to-use platform. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and even likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule posts too. And you can extend Squarespace's already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. What do you eat it with your hands? Display posts from your social profiles on your website and automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your followers can share it too. If you have an iPad in your Maybach, you can watch it right here too. Kind of neat. So be sure to go to squarespace.com for your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/ammonyc to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. For now, I'm gonna go back to luxury. Now, as I mentioned earlier, pre-foaming the paint is critical to make sure that you get as much of the junk off the car before you go in and you wash it. Now, it is incredibly critical on matte finish paints, and the reason why is matte finish paint kind of looks like this under a microscope. So as the light comes in, it bounces around in here, microscopically speaking, and it doesn't shine. It's not bright, it's not reflective, hence it's matte. Now what happens is if I come in here and there's dirt and I use a towel that's really messed up and it's old or whatever, and I got it off the floor and I'm wiping it and I scratch it, what happens is you put a scratch right in here. Now I have no choice but to polish that down like I would on clear coat. No problem, you wouldn't know the difference, but what happens is now you have it flat. Now you have matte paint and then flat area because I just polished it, thus defeating the entire purpose of having matte finish paint. So that's why it's absolutely critical that you have a perfect wash towel like this. You make sure that everything is foamed up the best it possibly can, and the idea is to just use, I'm barely touching right now, you're just using a little bit of agitation. Once you wipe that area, that's it. Don't go back over it. So now that's fine. We're gonna keep moving. And the idea is to just keep looking at your area and making sure that nothing gets stuck in here. That's where you get in trouble. At the same time, if you push really hard, if you do have something in there, you could potentially cause a scratch. So when you're playing with matte paint, it's a little bit more critical to do the things that you're supposed to do on the car like this. So work top to bottom, make sure you're rotating the towel, you have multiple towels in your bucket, but really, boils down to just looking at your towel. If it has any junk in it, move it, put it into the next bucket and go get a fresh towel. It's not worth the problems that you can cause by scratching matte finish paint. There's nothing you can do to it, really. Now, right after the wash, what I like to do is look at the engine compartment. Now, I'm not telling you to do a full engine detail on a basic wash, but what you do want to do is look at the seams and the creases and crevices, and this is a perfect example. This is a leaf. That's going to cause problems. There's actually a bunch more in here I got to get out later on, but this is going to cause some oxidation as well as this. This is a perfect example. See that little area right down there? See the dirt and the salt in there? That's like a little pocket. Look, I'll put my finger in it. See the water? That's what's going to sit and sit and sit if you don't power wash that out and cause problems. And there's thousands of these little pockets everywhere. So the idea is to just rinse everything quickly. In this case, I might use a little bit of soap as well. But that is a prime example of a spot that's going to oxidize if you just let it sit. And look, there's another one. After the engine jams, I work the door jams and the trunk jams next. This is a prime spot right in between the gasket and the door. That's where you're gonna get a lot of trapped salt. Take 2 seconds, clean it. This is absolutely critical to the longevity of the car. There it is. Next, I like to work on the wheels. Fill the bucket with Brute wheel soap and Boost. Now, sometimes I work the wheels first, but during winter, I usually do them just before the final rinse because I want Boost anti-salt to have as much time as possible to dissolve the caliper and the suspension salts. In other words, I'm giving the chemical a little bit more time to do its thing than in spring or summer when there isn't as much salt present. So these are Mercedes monoblocks, absolutely unbelievable. Now, my favorite wheels, I've said 100 times, are the Alpina wheels. I think they're fantastic and wonderful, but I now have to change my mind because I think these are even better. And the reason why they have extra special love for me is they're incredibly easy to clean. Now, if you notice, these super high-end cars, they tend to not have exposed lug nuts or bolts sitting here. Like the Alpina didn't have it, this doesn't have it, but if you look on some other cars, they do have it. I wonder what the deal is with that. I don't know if you guys have a comment on it, but now I am now moving these to the #1 slot in terms of wheels. I just think they look fantastic, but more importantly, ridiculously easy to clean. That's very important. Make sure you don't forget the gas door as well. Most people do. Quickly put your towel in there. Again, let the products and the chemicals do their work. A lot of times you'll see this edge right here gets a bit rusty because it just sits there behind the door. So make sure you clean that out as well and make sure that your hole, your drain plug is not full. That is critical as well. See it draining? Means it's perfect. Now at this point, the car is clean and it's still wet. We haven't dried it yet. And the idea here is we're doing a winter wash. We want to do this very quickly, be an hour, hour and 20 minutes, as opposed to a full massive detail where we're taking the wheels off and going crazy. The idea is to do it on a regular basis. So to do that and to add some protection, we're using ammo top coat. The idea is we're going to be working in the door jambs as well as the paint and the wheels. So we're going to let it sit for a few minutes and then we're going to go in and power wash it. That's going to spread all of the protection around the car. It's very easy to do. You can do it on matte paint and you can do it on regular, shiny clear coat paint as well. So let's get to it. To apply top coat protection, lightly mist the paint, the wheels, and door jambs in a back and forth motion with the goal of lightly covering everything. Ah, for crying out loud. Now the key to this whole technique is to really make sure you get the door jambs. That's the part we don't necessarily look at or focus on underneath. Sides here, talking quick sprays, real quick. Same thing on the back. Come in. You don't need to go nuts. That's as much as you're gonna do right now. Then I'll work the rest of the paint. Again, at the same time, we're letting it sit for a few minutes. Come back, just quick sprays, because we're gonna go in and rinse this and have all of it spread out. You can actually see it right now. It's already working. Same thing here, very important to do the jams. See how quickly I'm doing it? This, boom, that's it. If you wanna get fancy, you can actually do that as well. There you go. Now you've just reapplied a coating to your car. Again, it's thin, but it's super quick to do. And it's a maintenance during winter. This is really gonna help you sort of prolong your coating and make it really easy. So when springtime comes, you're not sort of restarting from scratch, so to speak. So now we're gonna let it sit like this. And the idea is when we power wash, we're not trying to necessarily power wash all the stuff that we just put on there, all the top coat. We're just trying to activate it so that it goes in the seams. You can also do the hood jams as well, but I didn't do them. Why? Because I'm about to hit it with water and all of that's gonna travel in here. So the idea is I'm not power washing to remove anything, I'm power washing to spread it around. So you're gonna have a little bit more distance from the paint. And when you do that, you can see it going crazy right now. So that's all the hydrophobic nature of the formula, but more importantly, I'm getting it in all the creases and crevices. So this is where the door jambs are really critical. Now at this point, after the rinse, we have top coat doing its thing. Now we want to remove the water. You're using ammo hydrate to do that. Now most people don't realize that when you're drying the paint, you're actually putting as much damage potentially as you are when you're washing it. So it's actually 2 steps. So we wash it, we use lots of soap, we use lots of towels, etc. We all get that. But during the drying phase, a lot of times people use water blades and things or chamois. That's when the scratches actually occur. So a long time ago, I worked on a product that had a lot of lubrication and protection in it afterwards, which is hydrate. So what you're gonna do is I made the towel wet in the sink and I removed all the water, so it's a little bit damp right now. And then you're gonna shake hydrate and you're gonna spray it on there. And you can see it comes out in blobs. So it's not like spray wax. This is highly lubricated and it's much more viscous, higher viscosity, meaning it's thicker. So you're gonna take the towel, lay it on there, and just go nice and straight lines. And then I like to spin and spin and spin. And you can see it's picking up the water. The water's now gone. But more importantly, you've done 2 things. You've added a layer of protection, but you've added lubrication during the wiping phase. So every time we've washed a car, I don't care how many times you've washed a car, you're always gonna miss a little spot, like something like that. That's just like dust flying around. What happens is, let's say that was a rock or something, or something that had a lot of abrasive in it. If you were to wipe it like this, you could potentially scratch the paint. But if you've added some lubrication to your towel, it's gonna make it less likely that that's gonna cause a scratch. Now you multiply that over hundreds and hundreds and sometimes even thousands in my case in washing my car over the years of ownership, that accumulates over time. So adding just a little bit of lubrication and a bunch of protection is really gonna make your paint stay in beautiful condition for the life of the car. Hydrate can be used on paint, glass, wheels, and of course the jambs. This is and has been our #1 formula for the last 13 years. So check out ammonyc.com for this and all of our car cosmetics, because we actually believe the better your car, your boat, your plane, your motorcycle looks, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more possibilities you have. As always, guys, thanks for supporting the channel and the dream of inspiring everyone to enjoy cleaning as much as I do. For the seams and crevices, use compressed air, blower, or even your leaf blower to help coax out the remaining water. Before we hop in the interior and do a quick wipe down, I can't help myself but to put a sacrificial layer on my wheels. They're the most important things to me. I like keeping them clean, especially monoblocks. In this case, you can use Ammo Skin, or we're gonna be using Blush Pro. So you take your wax, put it on just like you're gonna wax the paint. In this case, this is gonna look absolutely insane. But the reason I like to do this is again, a sacrificial layer, and that's it. Look how quickly I can put that on. Let it sit for a minute. I'll go around, do the rest of the wheels, come back, wipe it off. It takes you, I don't know, 30 to 40 seconds. And now you've just added, look at that, it's already beating off, right? Because a little bit of water left over. And it's gonna make it much easier to clean when you come back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, whenever your next wash is. Pretty easy. Afterwards, I coated the rubber in mud dressing. If you have access or the space to reach in and coat the wheel wells, I would suggest doing that as well to create a hydrophobic barrier. In this case, it was just too tight for me. Now, as part of our quick cleanup on the interior, the first thing you want to do is wipe down with lather. Now, most people see in the videos, I go in, I spray, and then I use a scrub pad or I'll use a brush. You're not going to do that on a, let's say, a weekly wash, just as a quick maintenance. So there's two things you want to do. First is, normally I'd spray it on the seat, but you can see there's perforations everywhere because obviously we're in the back of a Maybach. So what you want to do is take your lather, spray it right on the towel. Now, what's interesting about this is because microfibers have little fibers, little fingers, you're actually going to be getting in all these little holes, but you're not going to fill them up. You're not going to get the cushion all wet underneath. Now, I shot a video of replacing the cushions in my Cayenne, and you can see all the stuff that's underneath there. You have your heating pads. You have, I mean, so much stuff I didn't even know. So you don't want to get all that wet. So the way you get around it is microfiber towel. You're going to come in, and this one you are going to do a little bit of circles. You actually see it just briefly. You see it right there? Just briefly cover the holes, and then it dries real quick. So that's what you want to do for the quick cleanups. Now, when I do my big disaster ones, obviously I spray a lot more in and I get in there with the brush. I'm not going to do that on a weekly wash. You just don't need it. So do this. Just pick up a lot of the greases and the grime and all that, especially the steering wheel. You want to do that on a weekly basis or bi-weekly if you can, and then clean everything up there. Next, we're going to vacuum really quickly, and then the last part is if you have snow and salt and junk from getting in and out of the car, which is super common in the winter months, how do you clean that without really getting that crazy vinegar smell in? I have a video on that as well. So let's finish this up, vacuum, and then I'll show you the salt stains. Now, when it comes to the driver's side, the two hot spots are, of course, the steering wheel and the door handles, but the third one would be right here. This is when you get in and out. If you have jeans on, a lot of times you'll leave a little bit of residue. This right here is a foot scuff. You can spray on here or quick spray there and literally just wipe. You do this in under 5 seconds. I did the whole entire interior, just a quick wipe down, probably 2 to 3 minutes. Doing this on a regular basis, especially during winter time when it's cold season, it's gross, all that kind of stuff, it's going to save your car and potentially, you know, avoid maybe 1 or 2 colds in the season, which is a big deal. Next, quickly vacuum the carpets, no more than 4 or 5 minutes tops. Then clean the windows a bit. Just think a quick light maintenance and you're good to go. Now, the very last step on the interior when I'm doing a quick wash in the winter time is to pull the driver's side mat out. Maybe the passenger side as well, but usually the driver's side is gonna have some salt stains in it. Now, I shot a video years ago on getting crazy bad salt stains out. And to do that, you're gonna use a 50-50 mixture of white distilled vinegar. You can get in there and that acid, meaning the acidity, is gonna chew away all the salt, which is great. But on the flip side, it kind of stinks in the car afterwards. You're gonna need to shampoo and go through the whole process, etc., which makes sense in that case. But because we're doing an hour and 20-minute wash, we wanna do something a little bit quicker. So in this case, I'm using Siphon Coffee Cleaner. Now this is, once again, a low pH cleaner. I'll go in, let that do its work, and you're really spraying a bunch. You can mix it in with your hand. You can see it right there. Starting to, look at it, it's already starting to break it apart. That's all salt right there. Or you can go in with a red bristle brush and kind of, look at that, that's salt. I can just kind of flick it away. Now you've broken it up. You go in and you can just mop it up a little bit. Now the idea here is you're doing this on a regular basis, so it's not gonna get all crusty like I was in that video. Afterwards, I do like to finish everything up with some shag to try to take that low pH. You wanna try to bring it back up to as close as neutral as possible. So I'll go in, clean that up, and now you don't have any salt stains, because if you let them pile up, they are gonna get very, very crusty, and they're harder and harder and harder to remove. So there you go. That is a quick way to remove light salt stains in the wintertime so that when springtime comes, your car looks and, more importantly, smells great on the interior. Well, guys, there you have it. Those are the few steps that you should take every week when you wash your car in winter to protect it so that in the springtime, it's looking absolutely amazing. As always, guys, thanks for watching, but there is a little bit of a catch. Because this car is so clean and the fact that my Cayenne is left for Euro-wise, I don't have a car. So I asked the press company, I said, hey, can I keep it for the night? And they said, yes. So what I'm going to do is actually surprise my buddies. Now, I play hockey every week, and tonight we actually have tickets to the Islanders game. So we're going to take this. They don't know that I have this. We're going to carpool. And I said, you know what? Yeah, come to my house, we'll carpool, and we'll all go to the game together. They don't know that they're going into my box, so you guys going to check this out. All right, guys, I'm just leaving work right now, heading home. I'm going to put some different clothes on, take a shower, etc. And then the boys are showing up to meet at the house, and then we're going to drive down. What they don't know is we're taking a Maybach. What they don't know after that is we're taking a Rolls Royce on the way home. Absolutely crazy. This is going to be really fun. All right, guys, so my buddies are here, and I'm going to surprise them right now. There they are. What do we have? We got Roman.
How's it going? How's it going?
We got Ben.
Hello.
And then we got Jeff. So, guys, are you ready to see this car?
We are ready.
All right, come on out. Come on out. Here we go. By the way, there's the new garage being built. Woohoo! What do you think? There she is.
Wow. V12? Oh my god.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes. Wow, crazy. So this is a Mercedes Maybach.
Ridiculous.
So let's see if I can, so this is the captain's chair.
Wow. Whoa.
Crazy, right?
Holy.
Incredible.
Whoa. Whoa.
Now, the big question, my friends.
Oh my gosh.
Who gets to sit in the captain's chair? Look at that. We don't touch the door. We go like this. And then the door closes.
All right, we're not going now. Let's take my truck and go in. Thank you, sir.
Yes, get in. I'll make sure I close it for you.
Oh my god. What?
Yes.
Jeffrey.
Now, Ben?
Yes.
You gotta open the door yourself.
Oh, come on. I'm trying to touch this thing.
Oh, no, it's a normal door. Now, Roman, if you wouldn't mind, would you go into the refrigerator, please?
Oh, how do I open this?
Right there, open that. And then pull that other one down. And then in the bottom left, we have, yeah, take the bottom left there. Yeah, that one, the one with the top on it, the white one.
Okay.
Pull it out.
Yeah, we got waters if you want it, but there you go.
Gosh, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Sparkling blush. So no champagne, this is... All right, guys, well, we're going to head down to the game right now, and I have another surprise for them in just a little bit. We're going to head over to the premium entry. We're very lucky today. Got skybox seats. You're gonna be on the video.
Oh boy.
All right, boys. Here's the new car that we're taking. Look at that. Now the cool part is, look at the ceiling, boys.
Yes.
It's got the upgrade. Crazy, right?
That is serious.
I gotta learn all these buttons in here. There we go. Now we can kind of see lights,
Camera.
All right, time to go home. Everybody have a good night.
Oh, yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Great time.
Awesome. All right, as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.